Now, let's talk about the dimensions themselves. We do have 7: spiritual, physical, emotional, career, intellectual, environmental, and social. It has an acronym of species because regardless of religion and social status, we all belong to the same species that strives to be better, right? Of course. Welcome to the 7 Dimensions of Wellness, the podcast that helps you reassess your habits and helps you progress. The 7 dimensions are as follows: spiritual, physical, emotional, career, intellectual, environmental, and social. Reassess, progress. This is the 7 Dimensions of Wellness. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jerome Paul. Tonight, we will focus on retelling you what this is about. By tuning into the podcast, you will learn different habits that can help you survive your 20s. We will be joined by experts in different fields and career paths as they impart their knowledge and wisdom. The episodes will be published every Tuesday on Spotify and YouTube, wherein we will focus on one dimension as we talk to you. So we highly encourage everyone to share their takeaways after each episode. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Runaway Podcast to know more. Let's increase our awareness. People often think about wellness in terms of physical health, mental health, and emotional health. But there's so much more. Wellness is an intimate connection of physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. It's more about living our life to the fullest. The habits that we know and have, it fuels our body, engages our mind, and nurtures our spirit. It is a personalized approach that allows you to become the best kind of person that your potentials and circumstance will allow. That's why we must give attention to all the dimensions. We need to strive for personal harmony, as we naturally have our own priorities, approaches, and perspectives. So it's not all about having balance, but we must give attention to all the dimensions. It's about you having that authentic personal growth and harmony, not just to copy and pasting everything from our idols. You know, the ones that we see and look at social media. No. Now, let's talk about the dimensions themselves. We do have 7: spiritual, physical, emotional, career, intellectual, environmental, and social. It has an acronym of species because regardless of religion and social status, we all belong to the same species that strives to be better, right? Of course. The spiritual dimension is about finding purpose. What's my value in this ever-increasing universe? What is the meaning of life? What does religion teach us? How do I establish and strengthen my moral principles? Let's find what nurtures our spirit. The physical dimension is caring for your body and staying healthy. It's self-explanatory at this point, but how do I lose weight? What's the ideal diet for my age? What sports should I try? How do I stay fit and healthy as I work non-stop? Let's find answers without getting too physical. That's my puns. The emotional dimension is about managing your emotions objectively. How do I understand and respect other people's feelings? How do I deal with my quote-unquote toxic behaviors? Does the media have power in projecting emotions? Give us all of your X as we solve for Y. Dude, that's a math joke right there. You didn't laugh. The career dimension is about contributing our unique skill set to work. That's actually it. Like, how do I do my job effectively? How do we manage our workload? How do we get unstuck when the urge of procrastinating is too damn high? Sure, it's about drive and power, but there's so much more to it. The intellectual dimension is about maintaining curiosity and expanding knowledge. What will I learn from this? How can I respond to these challenges positively? What are my potentials, and how can I start working on them? We will give a healthy dosage of your intellectual talks, okay? Healthy dosage. The environment dimension is about understanding. Okay? Understand this. Understanding how your setting can affect your health and well-being. How is my behavior conditioned by my environment? Does social media shape my self-concept? What is the answer to the nature versus nurture debate? Right? You guys heard of that? For sure. The social dimension is all about maintaining healthy relationships. How do I develop my relationships? What are the ways to show affection and care? How do I start convincing myself, and I'm personally guilty of doing this, how do I start convincing myself that it's okay to let others care about me? Now, it starts when we become aware. When we become aware that we want to start learning again. When we become aware that we need to broaden our perspectives. When we become aware that there's always time and growth. There's always time and room. There we go. There's always time and room for growth. So, here's a simple exercise, right? What's the ideal version of yourself? Grab a pen and a notebook. Create a thinking map. You draw your main circle and write my ideal self. Draw 7 circles around the main circle as you label them with the 7 dimensions of wellness. Try your best to reflect and reevaluate your life. Write your current habits and the habits that you want to develop in that motorcycle. Like, for example, I research and publish podcasts with GAM. It's my current habit. These can fall under career because it's under my skill set, communications training, emotional because I get to bond with my best man, intellectual because Gam and I are devoted to maintaining curiosity, social because by doing all of these we make our friendship stronger. So try doing that. Create a thinking map. Take note of the habits that overlap. Focus on developing these as these define your strengths. Okay? Your strengths. So just remember, it starts when we become aware. Again, the podcast. Let's reassess and progress. Welcome to the 7 dimensions of wellness. I'll see you guys around. And that's it for this episode. If you'd like to support the podcast, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Runaway Podcast. Subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, Runaway with Runaway Podcast.